Hello again. This is the first of a series of videos showing you how to make your own computer game using Scratch. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to create, already logged in, and we're going to create a brand new project. For this particular series of videos, you will need to save your work using the username and password that I gave you before, or you can set up your own account. It's entirely up to you. Remember to create an account in Scratch. It is free. We don't want Scratch.cat, so we're going to delete Scratch.cat from the sprites at the bottom left-hand side of the screen. And instead, we're going to use two different sprites. We're going to use a sprite called Shark2, and we're also going to use a sprite called Fish. And we'll code Fish in a future video. Today, we're going to concentrate on Shark. But before we do the coding, we also want to give Shark and Fish somewhere interesting for the game to take place. So we're going to go to the bottom right-hand side of the screen to choose a backdrop. And we're going to choose, or I'm going to choose Underwater 1. You can choose Underwater 2 if you want to, or if you want to as well, you could make your own and import it. So we're going to focus on coding the Shark2. So make sure that when you've got two sprites on your project, you need to make sure that the sprite you're coding is the one that's highlighted. So I'm going to make sure at the moment, you can see on this part of my screen at the bottom left-hand side, Fish is the one that you can see highlighted in blue. I'm going to switch over to code Shark. So now Shark is highlighted in blue. Now we're going to use the events block, but rather than using just using the green flag when green flag clicked block, we're also going to use these other trigger blocks, these other starting blocks, where these starting blocks will enable the person playing the game, playing your project, to control how Shark2 moves. So we're going to use this when block with when one of the keys on your keyboard is pressed. So we're going to choose, instead of the space bar, we're going to choose the up arrow. And you can choose that from the menu bar, the menu selector on the right-hand side of the label. So you can see there that when I click on the triangle, the white triangle, it gives you all of these options. And we choose the up arrow, and up arrow is going to enable the Shark to move or to change Y by 10. I'm going to choose another when block, when key pressed block, and this one will be when right arrow is pressed. The motion block will mean that Shark points in the direction 90, and Shark will also move 10 steps. So you've got the up arrow, right arrow. Let's do the down arrow now. And you can see that all of these keyboard control blocks although they all appear for the same sprite, they're not linked to each other. They are all programmed for the same sprite, but they do not have to be linked to each other. So when the down arrow is pressed, this time we're going to have the shark change its Y position, not by 10, but by -10. And then the last, when key pressed block we're going to use for this project is when the left arrow is pressed, shark will be able to point in direction 90 again and move 10 steps. So now let's show you what that looks like. If I run the program now, the blocks don't highlight, but instead you can see, and I'm using my up, down, left and right arrows to control how shark is moving. Where's shark now? Right, he's just moved off the screen, which suggests that one of the blocks, which looks like one of the blocks, I've not programmed correctly. So let me just check those numbers again. Change Y by 10 for the up arrow. For the down arrow, it should be change Y by -10. And for the right arrow, it should be pointing direction of 90 and move 10 steps. Where the left arrow should be pointing direction of -90. So he's pointing the other way. Right, so let's see if that makes a difference. There we are. So you can see now I've got better control of the shark. Now we've got a few more blocks to go for the shark. This time we are going to use the green flag block. And what we're going to do is, you saw when I was running the project earlier, running this script or this set of blocks earlier, shark was upside down at one point. So we're going to make sure that the motion block is set rotation style left right. And we're also going to put a score onto this game using our variables block. We make a variable and we call it score. And it doesn't matter whether you have a capital letter for this label or not. I'm not going to have a capital letter. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use the set block from the variables, using the white arrow in the middle of the block to change the name of the variable to score. So set score to 0. And then what we're going to do is, so that our shark can move around and try and get points in this game, we're going to use the if block. Sorry, we're going to use the control blocks and we're going to use the forever block from the control. And shark's costume will change by using next costume. Next costume block from the looks block, and we're also going to use the wait block. Now wait 1 second is very, very slow actually for a computer game. So we're going to change that value from 1 second to 0.5 seconds. Now when you've coded and put all of these blocks together, you should be able to see when we run the program. Now you can see that I'm not touching the keyboard, but you can see that the shark is showing as though it is opening and closing its mouth. Now, when I do touch the keyboard, you can see you've got control of how the shark moves, going from left to right and up and down. So next time I'm going to show you how to make this, the fish swim in this game. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you again next time.